All right, welcome everyone. We're so glad you're here. Today we'll be learning all about how to step up your texting game at your fitness business. And with that, I'll hand it over to you, Ron, to get started.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Fisher, General Manager of Messenger AI. And I'm here today to talk to you about how to step up your texting game. And first of all, I really just wanted to thank you all for taking this 45-minute period to spend the time with me and Michelle and learn a little bit more about how to improve your business using texting. So thank you again. And the idea is that we are here to give you very practical, actionable steps of what you can do to level up your texting game and to make a huge difference to your bottom line, and to also explain to you why texting is so important to help supercharge your business. And so for today's agenda, we're going to be talking about why texting is important, how to implement it, what are some best practices you can use, how to develop a texting playbook that works for you, how to convert new leads into loyal members, because ultimately we know that it's not just about cost savings, it's also about increasing revenue and improving your community, how to simplify your day-to-day using AI-powered messaging, and what the heck is AI-powered messaging, we're going to explain, and lastly, new releases that you could take advantage of right now. And so our team is myself, the General Manager of Messenger AI. We have Vivek Siddharsan, who is our Chief Product Owner for the Texting Messenger AI solution at Mindbody. And Michelle.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michelle. I'll be co-presenting with Ron today. Excited to be here on the product marketing team.
Thank you. And we also have Mike is one of our team members as well, and he was the person who is our lead engineer and our AI expert, and Vivek will be available for Q&A towards the end of the webinar. And so I wanted to take a moment to launch a quick poll to understand where you all are with your texting journey. So if you could please launch that, Kathleen. So are you using texting in your business today? If you could just take a moment to click that. We are not talking about confirmation texts, those texts that you don't see, that you don't have access to. We're talking about real texting with your customers. You can either use it, you use it on your personal mobile device. B, yes, you use it on a third-party texting solution. C, you use Messenger AI, Mindbody solution. Or no, D, but you do want to. So if you could just take a moment and click that, then we can know where everybody's at and to be able to kind of tailor our content accordingly. Awesome. So the results are in. We have 37% using their personal cell phone. That's great. Awesome to start somewhere. We have 15% who use a third-party texting solution, of which there are many out in the market. We have 5% using Messenger AI, which we're going to teach a little bit more about at the end of the webinar. And we have 43% who say no, but I want to. Thank you so much. And so before we dive in into how to use texting to be successful, I really just want to take a moment and explain the why, because it's so important to understand why texting is so useful and impactful to begin with. And the fact is that texting is not the future, it's the present. And what do I mean by that? I mean, it's the #1 way that your customers want to communicate with you right now. We know that through interviews we've done with business owners and consumers, and we know that through the survey data that we've seen that's widely available online. They prefer it over phone, over email. It's how they want to get messages from you. It's how they want to deliver messages to you. That's just something really important to keep in mind. And the reason for that, right, why is messaging so useful to begin with, is threefold. One, it's frictionless. And what I mean by that is nobody needs to go to a website. Nobody needs to remember their name and password, right? It's such an easy way to communicate with you as a business where they don't need to identify themselves because their number is linked directly back to their identity. Two, it's discreet, right? You can ask many personal questions. They can give you many personal answers. You can have a whole back and forth while they're in the office or at home on a Zoom call, and they can give you what they need and tell you what they need, all without anyone around them hearing it. Three, it's asynchronous, which means two people don't have to be right on the phone at the same time, available at the exact same second. You can have a conversation with multiple customers throughout the day, right, without having to tie up your phone calling one person over and over again. And lastly, important data point, it has a 98% open rate. Email on average has a 20% open rate. So you could see that's an astounding difference. And that means every single person who you're sending a text to is getting that text. So texting by definition is that powerful. And with great power, as we know, comes great responsibility, which is why I'm going to hand it off to Michelle to talk about the specific best practices that we recommend for you.
Great, thanks, Ron. So the way you communicate with your clients has absolutely changed a lot in this post-COVID world. And what hasn't changed is that people still want to feel seen, heard, welcome, and appreciated at your fitness business. Whether if you're teaching in studio, as much as you might want to, you don't have the time to talk to every client. And with virtual offerings, students don't even have an opportunity to talk to you or your front desk or your staff before or after a class. And so with the hybrid fitness model in mind, texting is so crucial in filling those gaps by having message clients to develop a relationship with your studio. And as Ron mentioned, whether you're using Messenger AI, a third-party texting solution, or simply using your personal cell phone to keep in touch with your clients, we're going to jump right into the 6 texting best practices that you absolutely should be doing right now at your business. So first up, number 1, information is power. So what do we mean by this? Well, the more information you know about your lead, your existing client, the more personalized the client experience and the more information you know about how to best serve them. And so how do you make client interactions more engaging? Well, you can ask good questions and bring up relevant topics to your client, but how do you actually go about doing this, right? Well, you need to build that trust and open dialogue so you can provide that personalized experience, and texting is the way to do this. A lead form or an electronic waiver can feel impersonal, and asking some of those more intimate questions about their fitness journey in person with other people around might not be the right environment. And so texting really helps people open up that door and allows your staff to really get to know your clients because it's the preferred communication channel. So it's absolutely critical for you to be asking those important questions over texting to really build that personal relationship. All right. So secondly, text clients after their first class. I know this seems so simple, but the first impression is seriously everything. I remember when I was on an intro offer at my local hot yoga studio in Oakland, California, when I got that personal text from my instructor that day asking me how my class was and if I had any questions or feedback, I knew this studio knew what they were doing because they really made sure new students were taken care of. And it's that small window of opportunity when you have a new lead who visits your business and is on an intro offer. And sometimes it's that follow-up text that's going to make the difference between becoming a new paying member at your studio versus taking their money elsewhere. And so check in about their experience. It'll really help you nurture that relationship and in turn build your community. So highly, highly recommend that this is a no-brainer, absolutely something you should be implementing and having your staff do for all of those new visitors coming to your studio. All right. Thirdly, keep your business top of mind and keep your clients coming back for more by motivating them to keep going. Fitness is tough. The consistency is tough, so they really need a push. So whether you text a few days or even a week or two after their first class, asking when they're planning to come back for their next one, having someone check in on you and keep driving towards your goals makes a huge difference in getting your clients fired up for their next class. And nothing motivates them like a little bit of FOMO, especially those more hardcore clients of yours, right? When you have limited availability or you have a wait list for a class, let your clients know to really drive up that urgency. And just an example text message, right, that you can be sending is, you know, I haven't seen you around, Taylor. We have a new instructor we think that you'd love, want to check out her HIIT class tomorrow. She has 3 spots left. Something so simple like that is really going to make sure that we keep your business and your brand top of mind for your clients. All right, number 4, don't be limited by simple basic text, right? You can send so much more multimedia to increase your engagement, whether that's promoting special events, a flyer, new classes and new class schedules, studio challenges, recipes, instructor highlights, any kind of image, PDF doc, different kind of format. GIFs is really what's going to get you more engagement and more open rates, to just make the content relevant, resourceful, helpful. Any of those links are going to be really, really great to, again, have that regular pulse of communication with your existing or even new leads that you're nurturing to really get them coming to your business. All right, 5, be yourself, be your authentic self. I know this one might sound a little cheesy, but really you can be on brand, your tone of voice, the emojis that you're using. Texting is an extension of your company culture. The way you want your clients to feel appreciated and seen is not only in the in-person experience, but you can make a major impact on your customer satisfaction by engaging in thoughtful and helpful texting practices to serve your community and build that tight-knit client and staff relationship that you want. So again, be your authentic self and really showcase your brand through texting. All right, last but not least, this seems so basic, but absolutely a must. If you want to encourage texting as a preferred communication channel, show that you're tech savvy, show that you want to make it easier for your clients to engage with your business, then you must let everyone know that your business likes to text. We like to text. Text us, your phone number everywhere. So that could be a banner at the top of your website, descriptions for your Google search or Yelp business description, your ads, even sending an email campaign that's dedicated to all your subscribers, letting them know that you offer a texting service or you prefer them to text the business for any customer service. Get people to opt into marketing and promotional text as well. It's just really important to keep it top of mind for your consumers, for your patrons to know that texting is a preferred communication channel, and really increasing that adoption across the board is going to be a win-win for all of your marketing and communication efforts. All right, that was a lot that I threw out at you, but hopefully that was super simple, but very powerful tactics to add to your texting playbook at your business. But what's the so what, right? So all this work for what? It really comes back to why texting is so important. The last thing you want to do is to leave a client or a prospect hanging, right? Phone tag is a nightmare. 85% of the people who call your business and don't get in touch with you will never call your business back. And only 20% of callers actually leave a voicemail. So there's a ton of missed opportunity in business that's essentially lost. And in fact, MindBody has a solution to help you with all of this and even more. So I'm going to pass the mic back over to Ron to talk all things about Messenger AI and how it can really help streamline your communications and keep people coming back.
Thanks so much, Michelle. And so Michelle just touched on one of the issues that we've discovered is a key issue for businesses around the world. The fact that they don't have the capacity to answer every customer in real time, respond to every request that comes in, especially with new clients. We see how important that is. You know, only 20% of customers are leaving a voicemail, 85% are never calling you back again. And so that's exactly why we have a product called Messenger AI at MindBody. And Messenger AI is an AI-powered messaging solution that's designed to give you freedom and peace of mind every single day. And you know, we are really here to advocate for you to use texting no matter what solution you choose. But Messenger AI is the most tightly tied to the MindBody platform and is differentiated by the fact that it has an AI front desk agent that's operating around the clock to help you with everything that you do every single day. For missed calls, it texts back every single call immediately. And in fact, a customer is 3 times more likely to respond to a missed call text from the AI than they are to leave a voicemail. And it can also do everything a human could do, whether that's selling memberships, answering questions, booking classes and services. It's able to perform all of the tasks that your front desk is normally doing, and it's able to do that at a fraction of the cost. So let me dive into a few examples. One, as we talked about, is the missed call. Every single missed call, night and day, is replied to by the AI. And if it's somebody they recognize from your MindBody system, it actually says their name right away and even re-suggests the service they booked in the past. 2, if somebody wants to skip a class, they normally call the front desk and tie up the front desk throughout the day with those types of requests. Instead, with Messenger AI, anybody can text the AI to reschedule or cancel, and even be notified about late cancellation or rescheduling policies. Thirdly, you can actually use Messenger AI to reach out to clients. So we've talked about the AI functionality so far. It's actually also a texting dashboard that you can use to send mass texts or individual texts. And when you do that, the customer can then respond to interact with the AI to sign up for the class as well. The AI is also able to answer any questions about your business, whether that's your business hours, your class offerings, your COVID policy, your pricing, your membership terms. All of that is handled by the AI over web chat, SMS, Facebook, and soon additional communication channels. And lastly, we have very soon the ability for your AI to handle referrals entirely automatically. So when somebody wants to bring a friend, all you have to do is tell that customer, hey, just text my AI and it'll take care of the rest. It's pretty magical. So instead of talking about, high level what this thing can do, I want to give you a really specific example of how this is performed for one business. The Hot Room is a 5-location yoga studio about to open its 6th that's been using Messenger AI for over 2 years as an early beta customer and now in the full launch. And the Hot Room has been thrilled with the results. Over 500 customers a month are being handled and responded to by the AI across all the locations. And 78% of those conversations are handled by the artificial intelligence front desk. Secondly, it's handling about $5,000 in revenue every single month. As we see here in February, it actually sold $4,644 in memberships. And Heijin, the owner of this entire corporate-owned multi-location business, is thrilled by the fact that customers are 2.3 times more likely to respond to the AI than they do to leave a voicemail. So that means for every one customer that leaves a voicemail, 2.5 nearly are responding and engaging with the AI. And so now we're going to move on to my personal favorite part, which I think is really important for all of you, which is how you could use Messenger AI to make sales. How can you convert more leads and get more members to grow your community? It's a 3-part process. Part 1, your AI sends an automated follow-up in real time, 30 minutes after class, customized by you, to every single new customer that walks through your door, virtually or in person, right? Your staff and your instructors do not have time to talk to every single person that walks in who's a new client. It just doesn't happen, and that's okay. That's why your AI is there. And with a virtual offering, right, you don't even have a front desk. So how are you talking to all those people? That's what your AI is for. It texts every single person, a human sounding text that you customize to your brand, and ask them how that class was. Here we see it says, how was your first class with Serena? And Erin immediately responds, amazing, right? So you now have an active thread with an engaged customer who was a new lead who just took their first class right in the dashboard. What happens next? Next, you can look at these at-a-glance profiles that are right in the dashboard of Messenger AI, and you can see what class they've taken with her through the MindBody software. Do they have a credit card on file? And any packages or memberships that they've bought already. So right now, I can tell as the business owner, if I was looking at this, Erin has her card on file, took this class with Serena, but isn't bought into a membership or package yet. This is exactly the type of person I should be engaging with text messaging. And once I have that whole conversation with them, using the best practices that Michelle laid out, the final step, closing the deal, right? This is essential for a business to be successful. How does this work? Much the same way you all use the Venmo and Cash App, at least for us business owners in the US, to request money from friends and send money to friends. You can now do this as a business, right? That same frictionless buying and requesting experience is now available through Messenger AI in what's called seamless checkout. And through seamless checkout, you can go to a customer conversation like Erin, click the package that you want to sell her, click the discount that you want to give only her if you choose to, and then click request payment. And by doing that, you're handing it back to your AI front desk such that all Erin needs to do is say yes, in text and it charges her immediately, it puts that membership through into Mindbody and you didn't have to lift a finger. And if she didn't have her credit card on file, it would collect the card in a secure link, create her profile, and sell her that same package or membership. And now I'm going to hand it off to Michelle to explain some of the other nuances and new releases to round things out.
Great. Thanks, Ron. Exciting, walking us through the whole client journey from new lead to buying a membership. And so you can't please everyone all the time because you're only human, but you can definitely count on your AI to lend you an extra hand in your staff in their day-to-day. And right now, you actually may be experiencing some staffing and hiring challenges. It's a tough time right now to find talent, especially in cities, and your front desk may remain unattended for a little longer than you'd like. And so Messenger AI is really designed to give your staff peace of mind, knowing that your AI has it handled, whether that's automating tedious tasks, taking care of missed calls, and really helping your staff simplify their day-to-day. And so on the next page is a quick summary of some additional features and use cases for Messenger AI. And so number one is the web chat. So in addition to obviously being a texting solution, we also provide an extension to your storefront, your website, and actually having a web chat bot there, able to respond to any of your website visitors around the clock 24/7 to answer any questions that may come up. Secondly, sales automation. So the ability for the bot to actually automatically sell packages and members over text. Ron walked us through a really great example conversation of requesting payment, but the bot can also handle a lot of those transactions without human intervention as well. So that is something that you can also automate and rely on your bot for. Conversational booking synced with your software for classes and appointments. So the ability for anyone to essentially have a very frictionless booking experience all through text message and through the web chat. Missed call text is something that we've showed earlier, but while you're away, the AI having your phone handled, ensuring that you never miss a new customer. FAQs, knowing that your AI is always going to be able to respond to those frequently asked questions with pre-programmed responses, responding accurately and consistently every time. And then lastly, a new development on the fitness class side of the business is allowing clients to actually go contactless when they're checking into their class. So this is going to be a great transition to the next section we have, because that is a new release that you can absolutely take advantage of right now at your business. So going to the contactless class sign-in feature. So this is something we've actually had for appointments for quite some time, and we've gained parity on the classes front. So essentially, when a client arrives at your studio, they can text the studio, "I'm here," or any variations of that, and the AI will actually automatically check them in the class sign-in page. And so this is super, super relevant and useful. As you know, the new normal, consumers want a safe and clean, hygienic checking in, system and process when they arrive at your business. So it's a really great, convenient, stress-free way for your students to just easily check in through texting your business. I'm here, with no awkward moments in the lobby. They can just peacefully go in and settle into class. So this is something that I highly recommend taking advantage of as you're rebooting your business. And then next, FAQs, so frequently asked questions. There's a couple of new enhancements that we have here. So while your AI is ready to work for you out of the box on day one, there's still ample opportunity for you to make your bot even smarter with adding and programming some of those frequently asked questions. And so these are things that you can set up, and it just got even easier now with these new enhancements. So number one is when setting up or adding a new FAQ, you have access to a bunch of off-the-shelf questions that you can choose from. So it's a great way to jumpstart your FAQ bank with questions you may have missed. In addition, we also have FAQ categories. So when adding a new FAQ, if there are any words that complement an FAQ category, it'll help your bot respond more quickly and accurately to those FAQs. And then lastly, saved replies is a new kind of enhancement that we've recently released. So at the bottom of your text box, I think, Ron, if you can make a little, if you could point there, there's a little message icon that opens up your saved replies. And so these pre-programmed saved replies allow your staff to conveniently respond to messages with a single click. As you can see here, there's titles to it as well for easy access. And so you can just save your staff time by clicking on that saved reply to respond to that message. And they now can be set up with merge tags. So for instance, you can even address your client with their first name automatically by having the merge tag client name. So instead of saying hi, you can say hi Ron and have it be a more personalized message that, that is not only off the shelf, but personalized to that client that you're speaking with. So a really great enhancement to take advantage of. Great. Okay, we're already at the end of this presentation. So that concludes everything we had to discuss with you today. Thank you so much for joining our first Fitness Messenger AI webinar. And we hope you're able to walk away understanding the importance of texting at your business, along with tactical steps on how to implement texting best practices. And now we are happy to engage the audience for some Q&A.
Awesome. Thank you again. Also, I just wanted to say thank you for joining. And yeah, we're just going to take a moment to answer people's questions. I see Vivek is actively in the chat. I'm just going to take a look at the questions Vivek is in Q&A. I'm going to look at the questions in the chat. I see, can an automated sequence of text, like if missed first class if attended second class on trial. So those types of text automations that are marketing focused per segment can be done using the marketing suite. So if you want to do straight marketing automated text, you can use the marketing suite. And then if you want to use, do follow-ups that are happening to every single client or check-in text that we covered, that's through Messenger AI. I see, can anyone anytime text the business without having to send them a message first or them to opt in? The answer is yes, you can. And can you send messages with images with Messenger AI? Yes. In Australia, I believe, Vivek, do you want to explain what we're doing with Australia?
Yeah, so in Australia, we do have limited MMS. So that's on, there'll be a cap in terms of the number of messages or MMS messages that can be sent, but in US and Canada and a number of other countries that we can provide after, it's unlimited MMS.
Great. In Australia, do people still have to opt in first to have the text box ticked? So yes, for transactional automated messages, no, if you're just messaging someone or sending a mass text. And then Vivek, you answered a bunch here, but let me see what you haven't answered yet. I'm gonna start at the top. Do you have any digital fitness providers using Messenger AI? If so, how has the tool impacted their business objective? Do we have an example of digital fitness?
I don't know if we have any case studies right now of digital fitness, but I know that we do have some digital fitness businesses on the platform. They do tend to be actually really successful with the platform because the mindset of their customers is digital first, and Messenger AI is sort of a digital first product. So it really fits really nicely with what their expectations are in terms of booking and asking questions and getting support in terms of how they access those classes.
Cool. Yes, and I know I believe the Hot Room is a hybrid business, and I've seen myself also multiple hybrid businesses that use Messenger AI. Next, do Messenger AI have a support desk to teach us how to use it? Vivek.
Sorry, what was the question? I was also replying in the Q&A.
Oh, sorry, no problem. Do they have a support desk to teach us how to use it?
A support desk in the product itself?
So I think, what kind of support resources does someone have for the product?
Yeah, so when you join Messenger AI, there's an onboarding process that we take you through to sort of tailor the AI to your expectations, sort of have it fit your brand voice. You can customize responses, set up your FAQs, all through a guided process. And then because we know that it's an ongoing process to ensure that it's as successful as possible for your business, there are support resources available in the dashboard. You can reach out to them directly from there. Typically, we're able to actually resolve a lot of bugs or things that come up relatively quickly. So if you ever encounter those types of issues, there's quick support.
Awesome. Thank you. Next, I'll answer this one. Why did we not get a call back when requesting a demo and price scheduling for Messenger AI? I do apologize for that, John. I am not sure why that happened. I'm personally writing down your information right now. And I'm even going to say my email is ron.fisher@mindbodyonline.com. May regret that, but I'm going to personally take care of you. I'm not sure why that happened. If you want to email me your business, I'm going to track you down anyway, but that is my email as well. I just wrote down your information. Ala Selisher, I'm sorry if I said that incorrectly. I don't have a dedicated mobile number for my business. How does the system understand the call, not from a spammer or my mom? Vivek, do you want to explain that?
Yeah, so right now, if I'm understanding this correctly, you use your own personal cell phone as the business phone. So when a call comes through, we look at the phone number that's coming through and then send a text back. We do have a way to actually flag certain numbers. So if you have a set of numbers that you don't want to ever receive a text back, like family members, friends, things of that sort, you can actually provide that, and they can be flagged as not needing a response. For spammers, that's a little bit harder to do because these days they're sort of switching numbers all the time. But it shouldn't actually affect you in any way because they'll just receive a text back and it actually deflects them from you having to deal with it.
Awesome. And so for businesses that use a landline, how will the AI note that we've missed a call? Will it be connected to our phone system? From Kimberly.
Yeah, so there's a few different options. For a business that uses a landline, we can actually text enable your landline. That's included in Messenger AI in the United States and Canada. And so what that allows you to do is right now your landline is voice only. It'll activate a whole new texting capability to it. So your customers can start to message that existing number that they already have in their phone. And then those messages will just be funneled through to Messenger AI. So if somebody calls that line, they text that line, we'll have access to all that information to present it to you in the dashboard. If you don't want to go that route, we actually can also provide you with a texting number. So that comes out of the box. Customers, you can start to advertise that and customers can start to text that, and that'll be fully distinct from your landline number. So there's two different options there.
Cool. So is there a fee applied when payment is received through Messenger AI? The answer to that is no. Then you also asked, thank you, Lisa, is there an implementation fee? The answer is no. Vivek is epic, we agree. Then anonymous attendee, do we have an actual number that we correspond to? So Vivek just answered that. A unique phone number for all our own, yes. Are we able to parse client reports for text sending? In other words, just clients with regular attendees, stuff like this. I'm not sure I understand that one. Are we able to parse client reports? Oh, how do we send text to people based on, can we send it from a client report?
Got it. So generating a client report and then using those phone numbers. So right now, the way that we would recommend you do that is to export the client report and take those phone numbers and send a broadcast using the tool. So you can, there's instructions that's pretty easy to take phone numbers and send out a blast to them. In the future, we are starting to work really hard on integrating a lot of these different pieces. That's actually a great idea. So I'll make sure to take that back to the team. And what we're really trying to do is make it as easy as possible to do the things that you're talking about.
Cool. Another question, Vivek. Will Messenger AI automatically create a client profile when a client sends the studio the very first text message?
Yeah, that's a great question. So one thing that we take really seriously is we don't want to create duplicate client profiles in your account. That's always a pain to deal with, and that's really top of mind for us. So what the AI actually does is it will look at the phone number that the client is texting from, look them up in your system. If they already have a client profile, it's not going to create a new one. It's just going to use the existing one. If they don't have one, then as the AI takes them through their booking conversation and they complete that or purchase a package or membership, They'll actually be asked to input some basic information. You can decide sort of what sign-up fields you want them to input, and then we'll create a new client profile for them.
Awesome. So what is the limited number? Ali, I'm not sure what that question is. So if you want to—
I think it's in reference to MMS. And so I actually need to figure out what that number is. So I'll get back to you, Ron, and then maybe we can disseminate that information. Yeah.
Okay, yes. We can follow up with the attendees here. Next is there an extra cost on top of MindBody? If so, how much is Messenger AI? Messenger AI is $199 if you're on the Essential or Accelerate tier. And if you're on Ultimate or above, it's $99. That includes unlimited text, unlimited broadcasts, unlimited users, unlimited bookings. So there's no overages, nothing for MMS at all. Does it have variables to include client's name by recognizing their number in their profile, Vivek? Avital asked.
Yeah, so what we actually do is when you first sign up, we sync in all of your client information. So every client that's in MBO is going to be in Messenger AI day one. And then when you start to send out those messages, you can use the merge tags with a client name variable, and it will send out the right name in the right spot. Or you can start a new chat by searching for a client by a name. So it's really intuitive and super simple, and all of your clients should just be there.
Just grabbing John's email. Andre, best question yet. How do I sign up for Messenger AI? You should reach out to your account rep. That'll be the easiest route, and then you could talk about whatever plan you're on, and then you can get started right away and schedule a free onboarding to get going. John, I got your email. I just took a screenshot in case I lose it.
Ron, what if they don't have an account manager?
So if you don't have an account manager, what would be best is if you just go to mindbodyonline.com, click Messenger AI, and click schedule a demo, and that information should be right there. We can also include the information that you need and the link in the follow-up email that's going to go out with the recording of this webinar. Sarah Callahan. Now, when we do switch over to AI, how do our less tech-savvy clients not get confused about which number to text? Vivek?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's a few different ways that we make sure and kind of remind customers of the right number. The first is if they call, they're going to get a text back from that number. So that's going to be a reminder right there. The first time that they book and after you have Messenger AI, they're going to get a confirmation text from that same number. When they book the first time, they'll also get a welcome text with a contact card attached. So there's a number of different things that we do to ensure that they are seeing that number regularly. And then after their first visit, they'll get a new client follow-up text. So if it's their first time visiting, we'll send them a message asking for some feedback, and that's also from the same number. So there's a number of entry points where hopefully after a little bit, customers will save that into their phone. That's sort of what we see. And then they continue to text on that number.
Awesome. Tony asked, is it best to have a dedicated business mobile to use Messenger AI?
So sometimes that can actually be preferential because of the reasons. I think I answered a previous question about somebody using their personal cell phone. Sometimes you have friends, family that know that number and you don't want them to get a text back. So that can be a really great way to avoid that. Another option, if you don't want to pay for another business mobile number, is to set up a Google Voice account. That's free. All your calls get routed through there, but it'll be a completely different number. And that integrates with Messenger AI as well. So that's a way to save a little bit of money and get the same result.
All right. So you can use a business mobile, you could use Google Voice, you could use a landline, all of those work really well. How many staff members can use AI at one time?
Yeah, so really any number of staff members can be in the dashboard at once. The thing that we recommend though is typically most businesses have it set up at their front desk and they have 1 or 2 people managing it either on mobile or on the desktop. And the reason is you don't want it crossed wires in terms of communication that's happening. That said, we have added a lot of features to kind of indicate to staff members that a conversation has been taken care of or that a conversation actually needs assistance. And we're going to keep adding those features over the course of the rest of this year.
Thank you. Andrea asked, I understand the features, but I'm not understanding how it incorporates with my existing business mobile number and our software with check-ins. Is there a video or tutorial that could show me more about the integration aspect?
Yeah, so that's a great question about the integration with your number. We use a feature called call forwarding no answer. It's available on almost all carriers and all landline providers. And you can just reach out to your phone provider. Once you get Messenger AI, we can even walk you through that process. There's plenty of guidance in the support docs as well. And all they need to do is enable that phone number with a few instructions, and the missed calls get routed to Messenger AI.
Awesome, thank you. Lisa said this is the best informational session for MindBody she's participated in. Thank you, great question. Nova, we use text messages through LoyalSnap. Would I need to turn that off so it doesn't double up?
Yeah, so ideally you would use only one. This is just sort of a best practice. Whichever tool you end up choosing, you would use one tool to message your customers. And the reason is you want to create sort of loyalty with them with that phone number. So they're expecting you to reach out in one place. And if they start to see messages from multiple different numbers, it instantly starts to feel spammy. So my recommendation would be stick with one platform and use that for the majority of your communication over messaging.
Cool, thank you. We talked about added costs, Michelle. Sarah, I believe we did answer this question. I think you posted it twice. Brooke, if a client is opted out of email/text in their profile, will Messenger AI automatically opt them out too?
Yeah, so for most messages, we will opt them out, but there are certain exceptions to that. So if they call your business and you're not able to answer, that actually doesn't fall under the opt-in consideration. So they will get a text back. And then once they start to message, we can opt them in at that point. Another option, or another place where they'll continue to get text is confirmation messages, unless they've explicitly opted out of those in MindBody.
Awesome. Well, Kimberly asked, will the AI abide by class prerequisite settings, e.g. booking a new lead into an intro class before a normal class?
Yeah, that's a great question. We actually don't necessarily have all of that functionality right now. We are working actively on the on the new leads piece, trying to figure out the best way to bring in a new lead to the right class. So so that's something that you'll start to see a little bit more development around over the next couple of months. But right now we don't support all of those prerequisites.
Right, but the AI can be configured to direct the customer and tell them what to book.
Yeah, and one caveat there, we do support class restrictions and class requirements and all of that. It's just more specifically what I was referring to is directing a new lead to a specific class.
Cool. How many numbers can a business have for texting?
Through Messenger AI, right now it's actually location based. So if you have multiple locations, each location, we automatically provision a number for each location as well as your brand as a whole. And then you can choose to use the number that makes the most sense for you. Most businesses use a location specific number because you want a local area code. It feels a little bit more authentic, and it's something that your customers will recognize. But it really is based on the number of locations you have.
Awesome. Sarah, is it the same number we already have been using with MindBody Core?
Yeah, so that isn't the case right now. Right now, there are different numbers, but this is, and I think I answered this in a different question. This is a really top priority for us right now, bringing together all of these numbers. So eventually, they will all be coming from one number. Right now, though, that's not the case.
Awesome. Michelle asked, can you transfer a text thread to a specific teammate for follow-up?
Yeah, so right now you can't, but that's actually really timely because that is a feature that we have been thinking about for a long time in terms of assigning conversations to a specific team member. We've heard that a lot, and we know that that's something that we definitely want to build.
Brenda asks, is this a lock-in contract? No, you are able to do this month to month if that's something that you prefer. Lisa asked, many members have class confirmation and reminders via text. Will AI use the same number that reminders come from?
Yeah, so I totally understand that that's super important. That is something that we're working towards, is having them all come from the same number so that clients don't get confused. As of right now, that isn't the case. There will be a new number that sends those confirmation texts. If that is a really If that's something that you don't want to have happen, there is the option to not do confirmation text through Messenger AI and keep your confirmation text going out from MindBody. That said, we do see that customers are really receptive to the new number, and they end up getting it really quickly. So in that case, then you would have all of your messages in one place, which is always good.
That's ideal. Andrea, if we already use something for texting, but we like to switch, can that number be used and transferred to Messenger AI? We pay for a service, but we also have a mobile business number. Can we have that as our texting number? So two different questions. One, can we port the number to the business cell phone?
Yeah, so we can definitely port the number. Most other texting providers will be able to do that and facilitate that exchange. So it is on a case-by-case basis, but most of the time we've seen that there aren't any issues with that. And then the second question I think just got
sorry,
lost.
it was the business mobile number. I didn't see that you were seeing that.
Got it.
If you use the business mobile number as the Messenger AI texting number, which I
Yes.
think.
So you could potentially, it's a mobile number. I don't think right now we support that functionality for you to use a mobile number as the outbound texting number. We do for landlines, but if you're using a business mobile number, that's harder to move over because the texting is already enabled through a different channel.
Right. So we can do the first part. We can't do the second part.
Yep.
I think that's it. I'm just looking in the chat to see if we missed anything. If you have a program available for new clients, can these details be sent via text? Yes.
It's so as an like a text that gets sent out to all new clients.
Well, yes, I think if you have a specific class that you want them to book.
Yeah, so what we would recommend if you're trying to set up like sort of a promotional text that's going out to new clients, Marketing Suite, which is a part of the ultimate tier of MindBody, has a feature called text automations. You can create a list of all of your new clients and then send out those one-way notifications. And then coming in the next couple of months, we're going to be actually unifying Marketing Suite messages and Messenger AI messages, so you'll be able to see those responses in the Messenger AI dashboard.
Cool. And we do have one last question I think is worth answering. Does Frederick have one number and the AI have a different number?
Yeah, so right now they have different numbers, but that is something that we're in the next couple of months, they're going to be merged together. And so what the advantages of that is all of your texts are going to go out from one number, but then if a customer replies to a Marketing Suite Frederick text, those messages are going to show up in Messenger AI, and then you can take action on them really, really easily.
Yep. Actively working on that right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. Unless you see a different question here. Yeah, so Heath just asked the same thing about the Marketing Suite. Again, that's top priority and is coming very, very soon within the next few months. I think that's it.
Cool. Thank you all so much. That was amazing. And I really liked how you were talking about how this can totally help fill the gap of any staffing needs right now and in the future to help streamline that customer experience. So thank you all. Once again, we'll be sending out a recording of today's session as well as some additional resources. Like Ron said, to get started, reach out to your account manager, or you can go to mindbodyonline.com to the business section in Fitness Software and Messenger AI and select a Get a Demo for a chance to get started with Messenger AI. Once again, thank you all so much. If you loved this content and you want to hear more like it, feel free to join us at Bold this year in person or virtually. It's August 31st through September 2nd in San Diego. Once again, thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.